All right, Notre Dame and USC are two of the best teams in the country, and two teams that coming into this year, yeah, there was talks about, okay, these are two championship teams. These are two teams that can make it to the NCAA championship. And here's the deal, guys. These are two teams that are dominated by one player. And if we have learned anything over the weekend, we know that that does not work long term. Okay? Let's talk about USC first. Okay? USC lost in the Big Ten championship game against UCLA. Now, USC had beat UCLA 2 times during the regular season, but in the tournament, they ended up losing. Why did they lose? They lost because this was the JuJu or bust show. When we talk about USC is fantastic, right? They're great. They're a great team. But one of the things that we saw last year, and one of the things that we're seeing this year, is that this team has gone for give JuJu the ball, hope and pray something good happens. And a lot of times it does. A lot of times something good does happen because she's just that type of player. She's fantastic, right? But when you are on defense against USC and you say, you know what? Everybody else, y'all can beat us. Our sole attention is on JuJu because we bet that JuJu cannot do this for 4 quarters. And in that Big Ten tournament final game, she couldn't do it for 4 quarters. In the first half, JuJu was killing. It was all JuJu Watkins in that first half. Second half comes, more pressure against JuJu on defense. She's starting to get tired. She's starting to get tired. She's starting to be like, man, I can't do everything. And it's up to the rest of her team to show up. And in that game, in the Big Ten final, we saw UCLA have a spread out offense, right? Lauren Betts, 17 points. We saw Kiki Rice, 13 points. London Jones, 13 points. Like this was Tamia Gardner came off the bench, 9 points. This was a game where UCLA as a whole, they played like a team. They all were rocking together. This was a together team. Yes, Lauren Betts, by far the best player on this team, by far. But they don't exclusively just play through Lauren Betts. They don't. They spread it around. Sometimes the guards make some mistakes here and there. But overall, the team plays like a team. And we look at USC, and USC was all JuJu all the time. And one player can't do it by themselves. Here's the thing, guys. I believe JuJu Watkins is the best player in the country. I do. I believe she's the best player in the country. But if you give her the ball and say, save us, she will try her best, and she will do as much as she can. She will be very inefficient. She will get points. And when it matters the most, you will lose. Because one player in women's college basketball, one player is not the end all be all. They can't be. And that's something that we have learned with USC, if we didn't already know that. Something you learned now. And here's the deal. In that game against UCLA, in the tournament final, JuJu Watkins, 29 points, 9 of 28 from the field. Terrible numbers, in terms of efficiency. But she scored points because she had to. She just put her head down and just tried to do anything. Just tried anything and everything, because it was a one-man band. And the rest of her teammates, relative no-shows, right? Relative no-shows. Kiki Iriafen, who just had a fantastic game, scored just 10 points. The next leading scorer was Avery Howell and Talia von Oelhoffen, who both had 8. You can't win like that. You can't. And you shouldn't expect to. Here's the thing that makes it so confusing with USC. And I think ultimately it does come down to coaching. Like it just does. Like I this is one of those things where I know the individual talent of the players on this team. You have several 5-star All-Americans on your team, and they can't get a bucket? They can, but it's the way that this team runs their schemes. The way that the offense runs, Lindsey Gottlieb has everything running through JuJu, everything. And here's the deal with that. You have made this team so JuJu dependent that it makes it, in a way, which is weird to say, but I'm going to say it, it makes it difficult for All-Americans to actually play like All-Americans. Now, what do I mean? If you are on a team that has a all-around elite player, right? And the coach is like, hey, run it through them. Hey, we got this. She's going to help to carry us. And when you get the ball, try to do something. If you can't, pass it back out to her. Whatever. We be fine. If you are so used to somebody else hitting the big buckets, if you're so used to just, we're in trouble, just give it to her, she'll figure it out. If that is what you are used to, when it comes down to big moments, you're not going to hit the shot, right? Kennedy Smith is a fantastic offensive threat. We haven't really seen it. Kiki Iriafen is an offensive threat. Didn't see it in that UCLA game, right? Avery Howell can score way more points than she does. But when you are so used to seeing someone else do everything, when your time is called, you miss shots. You miss shots, you defer, and when you defer, you don't have that dog mentality in your head. You don't. Because you're like, you know what? No, they got it. Yeah. But you're talented too. You can make this stuff happen. But if the scheme is just give it to that player, if everyone's saying it, if your whole team is like, you know what, just give it to JuJu, you are limiting your opportunities to actually step up. And I think it's a combination of faults. I believe it's partly coaching that has, in my opinion, instilled this JuJu or bust mentality where it really is like, oh, just give it to her. She'll figure it out. If she gives you the ball, try to score. But like, other than that, just give it to her, right? I just don't know how you win. It's coaching and it's individual players not stepping up. Okay, this is a team, again, crazy talented. A lot of individual talent on this team, a lot. But if you're not getting that dog in you, if you're way too passive, the entire team, besides one player, you're going to lose. It just is what it is. And then that brings me to Notre Dame. Because in my opinion, we have a similar thing. We have a similar thing with Notre Dame. It's not as extreme as USC, but it's still there. It is still there. It's that give the ball to Hannah and have her do something, right? That it feels like that's what it is. And again, you cannot win like this. USC can't win a championship like that with this JuJu or bust mentality where everybody's passive and it's just give JuJu the ball and have her do stuff. JuJu's fantastic. I don't actually think this is JuJu's fault. I actually don't. Now, partly she does need to stop shooting as much, but I feel like the coaches are telling her to shoot. I feel like the coaches are telling her to shoot. And they're telling her, hey, put it on your back. USC don't really run no plays. Not really. It's just give the ball to JuJu. And that's how they rock. And a lot of times it works, right? It's worked a ton of times. Like this is a very good USC team, right? This is a team that is 28-3 on the season. Very good. I'm not saying this is bad. This is a bad team. Not at all, right? But when it matters the most, you're going to struggle. Now, let's go to Notre Dame. All right? Let's go to Notre Dame. Because Notre Dame is a very, very similar case. Notre Dame, they've been on a losing skid, I would say pretty bad losing skid, and they got to work it out, right? This is a team that lost to end the season, right? Lost to NC State, lost to FSU, ended up beating Louisville at the end of the season. But this is a team that struggles. This is a team that struggles because, in my opinion, they got used to relying on just one player. And similar to USC, you can make it far. You can make it far. You can win some games. I just don't think you win the championship based off of that. Okay? Because when we talk about Notre Dame, how did they lose? How did Notre Dame lose in, what was it, the semifinals against Duke? They lost because you only have one player that really did anything, and she was extremely inefficient. Hannah Hidalgo, fantastic player. Absolutely. I love watching Hannah play. I think Hannah is like, she's someone who just has that dog in her. Dog mentality. She's had a couple rough games this season, but like she's that girl, right? Hannah is that girl. However, when the defense knows that your team is basically just one player, I mean, it makes it easier to scheme. It makes it easier to put everything towards that one player. And Hannah struggled because there was a lot of focus on Hannah Hidalgo. Duke was trying their best to frustrate her, and they did. They succeeded, right? Yes, Hannah scores 23 points in this game. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she scores some points. She does her thing. However, she does it pretty inefficiently. 9 of 22. Is she a better shooter than that? Yeah, sure. But when it feels like you have to just show up, you have to just make some stuff happen, sometimes you get pretty inefficient, especially when you can't necessarily rely on your teammates to actually score on the offensive end. Very similar, Notre Dame versus USC. Though, Neil Ivey, in my opinion, is a way better coach, in my opinion, than Lindsey Gottlieb. But you have the same problem. You have Leah King, who was an absolute dog at Pitt. Absolute. Like, Leah King was fantastic at Pitt. She ends up going to Notre Dame, and it was a huge get. Huge get. She goes to Notre Dame, and it's like, what happened, girl? What happened? You're way too passive. Like, you're way too passive. Like, you're not dominating like you used to. And I get it. You're not the best player on this team. However, you're still really good. Look for your shot. Notre Dame actually needs to run plays for you. They actually need to run plays for you. And I don't get it. I don't. And yes, Olivia Miles was fantastic to start the season. She was. She surprised everybody with her three-point shooting. And yeah, she can still do that. She can still do that. However, even her, it's kind of loosening up a little bit, in turn, like, yeah, she can still knock down those three-point shots and whatnot, but like a little bit, yes, her passes are still very flashy, but like looking for her shot a little bit less when, both her and Hannah are on the court together. And I think them two are a great duo. I do. This is not me saying they're a bad duo. I think they're a great duo. However, there does seem to be a connection between USC's problem and Notre Dame's problem. Notre Dame relies too much on Hannah. Sometimes it does feel like Hannah or bust. And again, you can win a lot of games. You can even make it to the Final Four, right? You can make it to the Final Four. But I don't think that you can actually win it with just one player. And ultimately, that's the issue. That is the issue when it comes to USC. That's the issue when it comes to Notre Dame. And it doesn't help that, doesn't help that, Olivia Miles on defense is a complete liability. That doesn't help at all. And it doesn't help that, sometimes Sonia Citron, yes, can get you 25 points in one game, and then barely get you 9 in another game. This is a team that is incredibly talented in Notre Dame. Kate Koval is fantastic. Fantastic, right? Sonia Citron is a fantastic player, will become a fantastic WNBA player. I believe that. I think she's going to be a really good player in the WNBA. Not all-star, but a really good role player in the WNBA. Olivia Miles, good point guard, defense, very suspect, but good point guard who can knock down some shots every now and then. Maddie Westbeld, she didn't play the full season because she was injured, and I'm just like, ugh, geez. She's literally 0 for 6 yesterday, or not yesterday, in the game against Duke. Like, it just, you need your starting center to play like a starting center. And unfortunately didn't get that from Maddie Westbell. And then you have Leah King, who's playing extremely passive. She's great player. Like, seriously. Like, I know how good Leah King is, but she's not playing to her ability. And this is a Notre Dame team that is out of sync. The way they have been playing, if they play like this in the NCAA tournament, they're getting got before the Sweet 16. If they play the game that they played against Duke, if they play that in the NCAA tournament, they're not making it to the Sweet 16, because you have to focus more on just one player. Okay? You have to play better. You have to stop being so passive. Everything is not just about Hannah. And everything is not just about JuJu. If that's how you play, you're going to lose. Yeah, you may make it to the Final Four. You may. I don't think you win a championship that way. I don't think you do. And, like the theme of this show, improbable is not impossible. Just because you've been playing like this does not mean that you have to play like this come tournament time. Come tournament time, Leah King could be unleashed. Like that. And she could dominate. Same for Sonia Citron. Same for Kiki Iriafen. Same for Kennedy Smith. Right? Same for Avery Howell. These are all really good players. However, the way the coaching schemes seem to be, it seems to encourage passive play by other star players, to the point where they don't even look like star players. They just look like role players. But they're not just role players. And ultimately, that's what I see for both of these teams. There are a lot of similarities in these two, and we'll ultimately see what happens. Now, guys, thank you so much for rocking with me. I mean, W. Bazille, you're right. Case in point, Iowa relied too much on Caitlin Clark, and that's why they didn't win a championship. Yes. Because it doesn't matter how good you are individually. You have to have a full team to win a national championship. That means a team that plays, that can offensively make some noise, not just one player. That means a team that defensively can make some noise, right? And that means a team that other players can give you a whole bunch of points, not just one player. Yes, you can make it to the championship game. You can make it to the Final Four. I just don't believe you ultimately win, because if we look at the last several teams that have won the NCAA tournament on the women's side, they have been full teams. They haven't been just one player who just is separate from everybody else. No, they weren't. You know, it was South Carolina, LSU, South Carolina again. Like, look at those teams. They were teams, and they got the job done. Okay, they got the job done. All right, guys, that has been the stream for today. I have gone way over, so I apologize for going so long. I try to keep these around 30 minutes. This is about 44 minutes, so sorry about that. Guys, if y'all could, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I make content all about women's basketball, and we have a live stream here every single morning. So make sure to tap in, make sure to tell a neighbor, tell a friend that Quita Loves Sports is in the morning, and talk about some women's hoops. Guys, lots more in store. Got a stream tomorrow, and yeah, man. Y'all have a great day. I love y'all. And yeah, rock out. Happy Wednesday, guys. Happy Wednesday. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.